100 Roman legionaries, 8 SWAT operators, 2,000 years of separation, one arena. Only one side leaves alive. If you stripped away the centuries, if you forced these two warriors onto the same patch of dirt, who would actually win? It's not as obvious as you think. The Romans have only what Caesar's legions carried into Gaul. The SWAT team has everything a modern tactical unit deploys today. The Roman legionary was the most disciplined infantryman in history. 20 years of service, 20 miles a day in full kit. Trained to kill not with rage, but with rhythm. They didn't fight as individuals. They fought as a machine. His weapons, a gladius, a javelin engineered to bend on impact so it couldn't be thrown back. And the scutum, a curved wooden shield reinforced with iron. And their greatest weapon wasn't a weapon at all. It was a formation, the Testudo. Shields locked above, in front, on every side. A walking fortress. The legionaries' training was the technology. Now meet their opponent, the SWAT operator. 18 months of training minimum, often former military, combat veterans. They specialize in hostage rescue, high-risk warrants. 8 men, each one a precision instrument of modern force. His tools? A suppressed 5.56 carbine effective out to 400 meters. A sidearm, level 4 plate armor that stops rifle rounds. Flashbangs, smoke grenades, a breaching shotgun, night vision, and a radio that lets all 8 men think as one brain. On paper, this isn't a fight. It's a slaughter. By every modern metric, the SWAT team should erase 100 Romans in under a minute. But paper isn't a battlefield. Round 1. The SWAT team takes tactical positions. 2 snipers on overwatch. The first volley of suppressed 5.56 cracks across the arena. Romans fall in the front rank. Then something happens. Nobody expected. The centurion shouts a single Latin word, Testudo. In under 3 seconds, 90 remaining legionaries lock shields. Above, in front, on the sides. The 5.56 round can punch through a Roman scutum at close range, but at 200 meters, penetration drops dramatically. The SWAT commander adjusts. He calls for the breachers. Flashbangs arc through the air, landing in front of the Testudo. The Romans have never experienced a sound this loud. Some break formation. 100 meters. The SWAT snipers are cycling faster. The breachers reload. The Testudo is close enough now that some 5.56 rounds are punching through. Romans fall. 6, then 10, then 15. But there are 80 left, and they have something the SWAT team hasn't accounted for. The Pilum. At 50 meters, the centurion gives the order. 80 Pilums launch into the sky in a single arc. The SWAT team has body armor rated for rifle rounds, but a Pilum is 2 pounds of iron-tipped weight, falling from 20 meters up. It doesn't need to penetrate plate. It needs to break it, or break the man underneath. Suddenly, the SWAT team isn't 8 men with rifles. It's 6 men with degraded equipment. And the Testudo is 30 meters away. 10 meters. The SWAT team falls back to a tighter perimeter. They draw sidearms. Their carbines are too long for what's about to happen. Because the Testudo has done what Testudos were designed to do. It has closed the distance. And the gladius, that short, brutal stabbing sword, was specifically built for one thing: the kill at arm's length. And here is where everything changes. Because the SWAT team has been holding back one tool. The one weapon the Romans have absolutely no doctrine for. The one technology that breaks 2,000 years of military thinking. Not the rifle, not the grenade, the radio. Every SWAT operator hears the same voice in the same second. They don't need to shout across a battlefield. They don't need a centurion to relay an order. The two snipers, still untouched on Overwatch, are told exactly which legionary to remove from the fight. They start with the centurion, then the standard bearer, then every Roman who looks like he might be giving an order. The Roman command structure collapses in under 15 seconds. Roman legions were terrifying because they thought as one body. The Testudo loses cohesion. The line wavers. The remaining SWAT operators close the gap on individual legionaries. At arm's length, the gladius is deadly. But so is a sidearm. And a sidearm fires 12 times before it needs reloading. When the dust settles, 12 Romans remain. 5 SWAT operators are still standing. Combat ineffective on both sides. By the strict rules of the simulation, the SWAT team wins. Barely. But here's the part nobody wants to admit. If the Romans had known what a radio was, if they had known that 8 men were thinking as one brain, they would have changed their tactics. And they would have won. Because the Roman army wasn't beaten by superior weapons. It was beaten by superior communication. So here's the real question. What happens if you give those same 100 Roman legionaries a single working radio? Just one. Suddenly, the centurion is talking to scouts at the edge of the arena. He knows where the snipers are. Suddenly, history flips. If you want to see what happens when ancient discipline meets modern communication, subscribe. Comment which Roman general you'd put in command. And ask yourself one more question. What if it wasn't 100 legionaries, but 10,000?